Midnight. A faint light spilled through the window of a small laboratory on an old street in Paris. Inside, a weary woman was staring at glass test tubes. The tubes, they glowed in the dark, like tiny stars. At that moment, humanity was on the verge of a new era. But this woman, she did not yet know the price she would pay. This is not just the story of a scientist, it is the story of a person who changed an era. Marie Curie. In November 1867, a little girl was born in Warsaw under Russian occupation. Her name was Maria Skłodowska, but years later she would be known as Marie Curie. Her family was not wealthy, and their home was modest. Her father was a teacher, her mother a school principal. They had no money, but they had books. And young Maria, losing herself among the pages, was quietly writing her own destiny. Her childhood was shadowed by hardship. She lost her mother at a young age, her country was not free, and women were denied the right to an education. To become a world-renowned woman in an era when female education was forbidden required a combination of ambition and determination. Yet, within Maria, a flame never died out. Her curiosity drove her forward. Years later, she would reflect, "Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood." Maria worked as a governess by day and attended secret classes by night. Sometimes she studied by candlelight, sometimes on an empty stomach, but she never gave up her dream. For her knowledge was not just a way out, it was a responsibility. Through relentless work, she finally took the step that would change her life. She went to Paris and began studying at the University of Paris. In Paris, destiny introduced her to someone who would change the course of her life, Pierre Curie. Their love did not grow from poems, but from test tubes. They shared the same passion for science, speaking the language of discovery side by side in the laboratory. Days turned into nights, nights into mornings. They failed, tried again, and finally discovered the elements polonium and radium, the most mysterious treasures of science. Polonium, named after her homeland Poland, symbolized her love for her country. Radium, with its gentle glow in the dark, shone like a tiny star, capturing attention. This discovery changed the boundaries of science. At the time, these elements were believed to bring healing to humanity. But over time, it became clear that their powerful radiation must be handled with care. Polonium and radium became two special heroes, reminding the world that bold scientific steps carry both hope and responsibility. A woman had discovered a new element. Some scientists doubted her. Some tried to remove her name from the research papers. At first, when the Nobel nomination was discussed, only Pierre and another scientist were mentioned. Marie's name was missing. Pierre protested. "This work would not have been possible without her," he said. One day, a telegram arrived at their small home, the 1903 Nobel Prize in Physics. Alongside Henri Becquerel, it would be awarded to Marie and Pierre Curie. Marie quietly sat down in her chair, not out of joy, but exhaustion. Because this prize was the result of years of hunger, sleepless nights, and unyielding faith. Pierre looked at her and said, "The world has finally seen you," Marie replied. "No, it is science that will change the world." That day, it wasn't just a prize, it was recognition of a woman's contribution. In 1903, Marie Pierre and Henri Becquerel won the Nobel Prize in Physics. Marie became the first woman to ever receive a Nobel. Yet, in that moment, she longed for the quiet of her laboratory more than the glittering lights of the stage. She believed the life of a scientist in the lab requires as much sacrifice as a soldier on the battlefield. Sadly, happiness did not last. Life's hardships forged her strength. Pierre Curie died in a traffic accident. Marie was left alone, but she did not collapse. She shed her tears in private and returned to the lab. Science was not a profession for her. It was a duty. In 1911, she won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry, becoming the first person to win Nobel Prizes in 2 different scientific fields. Her story was not only about success, it was also about sacrifice. During World War I, news of wounded soldiers moved her deeply. Marie developed portable X-ray machines that saved hundreds of thousands of lives. She personally prepared medicines, went to the front lines, and trained nurses. She believed that science must touch human lives. Years of working with radiation gradually took a toll on her health, yet she never stopped, driven by faith in the future of science. When Marie Curie passed away in 1934, she left no fortune behind. But she left the foundations of radiotherapy, a path for women in science, and a story that gave hope to millions. Her laboratory notebooks still contain radioactive material and are kept in lead-lined boxes, a testament to her dedication. Today, Marie Curie's story whispers to us, great people grow not only through intellect, but through patience and love for humanity. She gave her life to science, but in truth, she left light for the world. And perhaps her most beautiful words still echo. Human progress rises on the shoulders of those who are curious and courageous. Marie Curie's life is not just a story of achievement, it is a story of devotion, because some people illuminate not only their own era, but the future as well.